Welcome to the Voice of Truth. Here we are doing the same old, same old. Hey, if you've watched Monday and Wednesday, that's what we're talking about, the same old, same old. But we've been in the story of Luke, chapter 5. Jesus gets into the boat of Simon Peter, launch out into the deep. You guys know the story. You probably heard it 1,014 times. I don't know. But I hope maybe you're hearing it afresh. I hope you're hearing it afresh. And you know, he makes this statement down there. Let's see, where he says he'll make you fishers. So they pulled their boats on the shore, left everyone, and then followed him. Let's see, I read that somewhere. I'll put into the deep and let down the nets and catch. Well, anyway, I don't remember where it is, but you know, you'll catch men. You'll catch men. And you know, we've been talking about this story here. I'm rambling around a little bit. We got to get back into it, but he's not talking about, you know, how it's kind of used as this evangelical side. We got to go catch men. We mentioned this on Monday. This guy told me, "Hey, man, I'll go out to the bars and catch them, and I'll bring them to you, and you clean them." The gospel is not this kind of bait, a worm on a hook to catch you in. You see, Peter, you know, Simon and Andrew and these guys, they were Hebrews. Let me tell you something about the Hebrews. They knew the scriptures. They knew the scriptures. These guys are not like Americans where, you know, the only Bible we get is a little bit on Sunday mornings. It's their life, the scriptures. When they adhered to what their parents taught them, it was their whole culture, their way of life. And so when Jesus would mention something about the culture, about "I'll make you fishers of men," boom, they would automatically go back in the scriptures, and they would know what this references to here. Because remember, they're under Roman oppression here. We can't forget that. When Jesus comes on the scene, we don't think he's into politics, but the message of the kingdom is very, very political. Very political. It's about politics, it's about economics, and it's about religion. Okay? So, "I'll make you fishers of men." You could immediately go back in the scriptures, I believe, to Ezekiel 29 and Amos chapter 4, and you could read there of oppression. I think in Ezekiel, they're under the oppression maybe of the Babylonians, or maybe the Assyrians, I can't remember. And he talks about they would be caught with a hook, fishing. You know, the fishers would catch them. And in Amos chapter 4, you know, Amos kind of starts out in his message, his prophecy to Israel. He kind of starts out and he's talking about the nations. When I say the nations, those who are oppressing Israel, and it's like how God is going to get them for 3 sins and not 4, and you know how God is really going to get them. But then he leaves that off, and then he begins to prophesy, almost scold the nation of Israel because they were oppressing their own people. And again, this metaphor, this euphemism, if you will, about fishing, about catching, and how they would get caught. How they would get caught. And you know, one of the things they were doing, you know, I think in Amos it talks about, you know, some of the richer people would loan the poor in Israel would loan the poor people money, and then if they didn't pay it back, then they would take them on as slaves. And in one of his things, he said something about the loan for a pair of shoes or a pair of sandals. In other words, God is saying through Amos, this is so trivial of what you're doing, that you're oppressing your own people, your own brothers. This is atrocious. And so Jesus here, talking about the year of the Lord's favor, he comes on the scene, he joins Peter in the same old, and launch out into the deep, put down the water, launch out into the deep, let down the net. Simon answered, Master, we've worked hard all night, haven't caught anything, but because you say so, I will let it down. When they had done, they caught such a large number of fish that the nets began to break. So they signaled their partners in the other boat to come and help them. They came and filled the boats so full they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, Go away from me, Lord, I'm a sinful man. For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken, and so were James and John, the sons of Zebedee. Then Jesus said to Simon, Don't be afraid. From now on, you'll fish for people. There's that. You'll fish from people. So, this is in the midst of the oppression. And what I'm trying to say here is when he says you'll be fishers of men, you're not going to go out there and you're going to capture them and bring you in and to lure them in with some bait and catch them, and then as religion wants to do, and then devour them and take away their culture from them, take away their fun from them, take away their music from them, their art from them, whatever it is they do. No. That's not it. Jesus is reminding them the oppression of the Assyrians and the Babylonians and the oppression that their own people had brought on them one another. And he's making this contrast here. You'll be real fishermen of men. Look at the harvest. Look at the catch. I come to set the captives free. This is what you're going to do. Jesus goes on here and heals a man with leprosy. And then he goes on, and while he's teaching one day, you see these stories, and Jesus is in a home again, and they bring a man with palsy, and they can't get him to Jesus. They tear the roof off of the house and let it down. See, Jesus is expanding the story of what it's like to fish for men here. And see, I kind of love that, because Jesus shows Simon what God's kingdom looks like. And God's kingdom is not Caesar's kingdom. God's kingdom is not this oppression and subjugation of other people, of other races. God's kingdom is not racism, none of those things. And he's saying, listen, guys, you're going to go fish, and you're going to rescue the people who are caught in the slavery, in the worry, in the oppression, in all of the things that empire catches them in, that empire has caught them in. And you're going to rescue them just like I came into your boat. And your soreness of the muscles and your hands that had worked into your same old. And I'm going to bring liberty there. I'm going to bring freedom there that you couldn't even imagine. All you have to do is launch out into the deep. This is Jesus, This is what he does. God's kingdom is not Caesar's kingdom. God's kingdom suffers no empty nets. God's kingdom suffers no empty tables. God's kingdom is good news for all. God's kingdom. Man, that's something to ponder on and think about, isn't it? Don't be afraid, Simon. Don't be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people. Don't be afraid. I can tell you this right now. Tomorrow, and I say tomorrow, guys, because when I record this, I do this of an evening. And they come out in the morning. So maybe I should say today. Jesus is saying, don't be afraid. Launch out into the deep. Launch out into that. And when I say launch out into the deep, I'm saying in the same old that you're going to be doing today. But do it in a freshness, knowing that Jesus has joined you in the boat. Jesus has joined you in building the house. Jesus has joined you in fixing the heat pump. Jesus has joined you as you're recording, working at the recording studio. Jesus has joined you while you're making your arts and crafts to bring artistry to people's home. Jesus has joined you as you're driving to work for the state. Jesus has joined you as you're selling products to other people. Jesus has joined you when you're working, serving other people at a bank or whatever it is you do. Jesus has joined you. And when he says, go out into the deep, this is go out, go looking at this thing from a fresh place. This excitement that you looked at it for the first time. Remember when you first got the job and you thought, this is it, man. I'm so excited. Let me learn how it is, and let me learn the nuances of it, and let me learn the culture of it and the language of it. And as I learn these things, then I'll be good at it, and I'll be an asset. And Jesus is saying, yeah, let's go there one more time. Let's go into the deep. Let's go into that place. Let's go, that place where, now that place to you is dry and you've caught nothing. It's just not fun anymore. It's just mundane, the same old, same old. It's not. Let's go there. Let's go there. And I want to tell you something. For me, I love this story because it tells the truth here about my journey with faith, if you will. Because I'm here with Peter. Master, we've worked all night. I've worked 33 years. I've had this ministry for 14 years. I've been pastoring this church for 14 years and caught nothing. But if you say to let down your nets again, I'll do it. This kind of words, like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Jesus is here, I'll do it. I'm like, Master, do you, okay, if you say so, we'll do it. And I'm kind of there. I don't know about you, but I'm sort of suspended in the gap between these two sentences here. And I wonder, is it just me, or do we all live in that gap? That gap between we've worked hard all night and we haven't caught anything, and here's the gap. But if you say so, we'll do it. I kind of live there. I've worked hard. I've did all the stuff. I kind of live in that gap. And a lot of times we're very reluctant to admit it. We don't want to admit that we live in that gap. We just don't want to admit that. We don't want to sound ungrateful. We don't want to sound irreverent. We don't want to sound like we're not trusting Jesus. Because in the same old, guys, life can be a grind. A grind. That's the one thing you try to tell your kids, man. Where you're going to be in 30 years, they can't think of 30 minutes, much less 30 years. It's a grind, and it grinds on you. Grinds you to powder. The grind, the same old here. And the monotony, the failure of it. And even the most earnest, the most hardworking among us can show up on the shore first thing in the morning with nothing, with our nets empty. It happens. It happens. And when that does happen, and boy, I wish you could ask Tracy this, but the first thing that I do is I wonder what's wrong with me. Maybe God messed up. Maybe I'm the only mistake God ever made, but really, I've tried so hard. I've tried to do all of this, and it just isn't working. I know Jesus is in the boat, and we've tried all night. It just didn't work. What's the matter with me? Maybe you said the same thing. But the hardest thing to do in these moments In that gap, we've worked hard all night and caught nothing, but because you say so. The hardest thing to do in that moment is to make that leap of trust that Simon makes. If you say so. Lord, if you say so. If you say so, Lord, I'm going to keep this business going. If you say so, Lord, I'm going to keep making music. If you say so, Lord, I'm going to keep pastoring in this church. If you say so, Lord, I'm going to keep working for the railroad. If you say so, Lord, I'm going to keep doing the carpentry work. If you say so, Lord, if you say so, hadn't amounted to much to yet, but if you say so. See, that's a leap of trust there. I'll be faithful to my vocation. Yet if you say so, I will choose the deep instead of the shallowness. Because remember, he just didn't say launch out. I want you to go into the deep. Man, what a challenge for us. What an invitation for us. Go into the deep. Remember, fishers of men, and when you go into your job today, launch out into the deep. Fishers of men see those who are oppressed, those who are hurting, those who are full of anxiety. Launch out into the deep because Jesus is in the boat. Jesus come to set the captives free. Watch how he does it. He launches out into the deep. Let your nets down. Take a chance here. Bring a smile. Some people say, well, man, I don't know what to say. Launch out into the deep. I don't know what to do. Oh, I've tried that before. It's never worked, but I've come away empty. Jesus said, let's do it again. Let's try it one more time. Because my kingdom is not like Caesar's kingdom. My kingdom is a kingdom of abundance. My kingdom is not a kingdom of oppression. My kingdom is a kingdom of liberty. My kingdom is a kingdom of joy. My kingdom is a kingdom of justice. My kingdom is a kingdom of peace. Not oppression, not slavery, but abundance, but of life, but of laughter, of song, of artistry, of music, of dance. That's my kingdom. Launch out into the deep. If you say so, Lord, I will put my trust that your presence in the boat is more precious than any guarantee of success. So, Lord, if you say so, I will cast my empty nets into the water and look with hope for your kingdom to come. Isn't that the prayer? Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. What a story. I hope that maybe you have seen this story with some new light. Fishers of men. This is not about baiting people in to our church, baiting them into the oppression, but the fishers of men is to go out there and to join Jesus in setting the captives free. It's this invitation to launch out into the deep, not leave our vocation, but bring our expertise, our training that we have been training to in the same old day in and day out, knowing the nets, knowing the water. And let me say this as we close out this. When they had done so, they caught such a large number, they signaled their partners. We've read that. They pulled their boats on the shore and left everything and followed him. Now I know we would use that verse right there. They left everything and followed him. And I know we think, okay, this would be the verse we would use for Tony and Jeff. Okay, leave everything and follow the Lord. But he didn't say, guys, I want you to stop fishing. No, what he's saying is guys, we're going to do what you've been doing, the same old, but we're going to do it in a brand new way, with a brand new mindset, with a brand new understanding, with a brand new life. Behold, I make all things new. We're not only going to build houses, we're going to build men. We're not only going to make things to go on the wall for decoration. We're going to bring creation. We're going to bring joy and life to people's homes and in their hearts. We're going to, if we're selling products to people, maybe it's makeup or whatever, but more so than that, we're going to help people feel that they are beautiful. Okay? We're going to nurture people. Maybe we just go and we work on products. We go build rooms, or we bring electricity into people's homes, or we work on heat pumps, but we're bringing comfort into people. We're going to go into this thing and we're going to bring comfort to people. All of these things, Jesus steps into our world. He's not asking us to leave our world behind. He's not asking us to leave our vocation behind. He's not asking us to leave our understandings behind, but He's asking us to see it in a brand new light. Leave the old nets. Leave the old boats. And bring the new nets of the kingdom. Because Jesus is going to talk about that in Matthew's gospel, right? The kingdom of the heaven is like a net. A brand new net. A brand new way. Behold, I make all things new, even the same old, same old. Anyway, guys, better quit with that. If you got any questions or comments, please drop us, love to hear from you. Hopefully, we'll get some guys with us soon. I hope so. And anyway, until then, we'll see you next week. And Lord, bless you all. Don and Jeff and myself, we really want to thank you guys for tuning in. You don't know what it means to us to have you guys listening. The one thing that you could do to help us out is hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Ask questions in the comments if you want. I am going to leave a link. I'll post it down below for our church services on Wednesday and Sundays. I put those on a different YouTube channel. So I will share that with you guys, give you the link so you can go see what time. We would love to have you come and join us. And, we just love putting out this voice of truth, having our discussions. What you see is what you get. We try to put them out every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 9 a.m. I will tell you, I'm a full-time pastor, but I also work full-time. Jeff works full-time, so it's hard for us to do those things all the time. But again, we're so thankful you tune in. Thank you for all the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. You can hit the notification button. You'll know when they're coming out. And guys, again, we are so thankful that you're tuning in. Thank you so much. We will keep bringing this stuff to you. And we will see you again. Lord bless.